Hey guys, it's me Moshi. Now discuss what happens. Somebody has Venus and Libra in the 12th house and they deny. Venus and Libra 12th house deny. The 12th house is associated with privacy and solitude, foreign places and cultures, retreat and seclusion, sleep and dreams, expenditure and luxury, spiritual surrender, the private side of intimacy. Venus represents love and affection, relationships, beauty and aesthetics, pleasure, harmony, sexual and romantic attraction, marriage and partnership. With Venus in its own sign Libra, Venus has considerable dignity. It can express its qualities naturally rather than having to struggle through the sign. The central theme. This person may have a very private, romantic, and sensual side that isn't immediately apparent from their outward personality. Venus in its own sign. This is important. Venus rules Libra, so the planet is operating from its own territory. That can strengthen relationship skills, diplomacy, appreciation of beauty, romantic sensitivity, desire for equality, ability to compromise, social refinement. The person may have a sophisticated understanding of relationships even if they are personally quite selective about whom they become intimate with. Venus in the 12th and intimacy. The 12th is traditionally associated with private pleasures and bed comforts. So Venus here can make physical intimacy an important part of relationship fulfillment. But because Venus is in Libra, the emphasis isn't necessarily purely physical. They may need attraction plus emotional peace plus intellectual compatibility plus mutual respect. A relationship that is technically functional but emotionally or aesthetically unpleasant may become deeply unsatisfying. There can also be a strong preference for private affection rather than public displays. Foreign connections. Venus on the 12th can also bring relationships with foreigners, people from different cultures, people encountered while traveling, people living far from the person's birthplace. It can also indicate that marriage or partnership expands the person's relationships with foreign cultures. I wouldn't treat this as a guaranteed foreign spouse based on by itself, but it certainly makes foreign long distance themes more plausible. The spiritual side of Venus. There's another layer that becomes particularly important because of this placement. The 12th house is also associated with letting go, surrender, solitude, and spiritual experience. So Venus here can make the person discover that love isn't merely about possession or validation. They eventually learn love requires surrender as well as choice. That's particularly interesting considering it's Venus in the 12th house. Venus in Libra in the D9 is what was significant as simply saying Venus in the 12th is good slash bad. Because Venus is in its own sign, the planet retains substantial strength despite being in the 12th. So I interpret this less as Venus loses things and more as Venus expresses itself privately, intimately, aesthetically, and through foreign slash behind the scenes environments. The person may actually derive considerable happiness from having a beautiful private environment, traveling, retreating from the world with a partner, or maintaining a relationship that feels like a sanctuary.